In this installment, we're going to be going over the Week 14 quick hits on DraftKings, giving you some one-off plays at each and every position for you for this Week 14. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Chef D, and I'm here to give you the winning ingredients for our Week 14 quick hits video. Guys, before I deep dive into this very intriguing slate, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MetsNetChetsD. Don't forget about the TikTok at Chef_D91, and don't forget about that Patreon. That link is provided down below, but we're going to touch on that very soon. This video here, quick hits, is just a couple one-offs at each and every position, just so guys that you can have. Maybe you already filled out majority of the lineup. Maybe you need to fill in the flex or a number 2 running back, or hey, this is a different view here. Maybe you can go with this stack at quarterback that you can go with besides the other options that have been tossed around this week. All right, I mean, some people are just in a rush, and hey, they need some people to fill in their lineups. Boom. And this video just provide very quick analysis at the key positions: quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and tight end. All right, now we are currently at the home page right now. We were at 1.5 thousand subscribers. We are now dropped down to 1.499. I don't know who it was that unsubscribed, but resubscribe back. I don't know why you did unsubscribe, because we killed it on Thursday. I told you guys the main play. I was probably the only one to tell you this. I said Hunter Henry. I told you guys to play Hunter Henry, and he was the top play of that slate between him and Bailey Zappi. And I gave you the statistics where the weakness of this team was throwing to that tight end position, and that was a perfect spot. I even gave it out on Patreon, and Hunter Henry came through there. 25 bucks paid out 187.5. That is an absolute smash right there. So guys, do not miss out on the Patreon, and continue to check in on the showdown slates. We are really zeroing in and helping people get to the top of these leaderboards, okay? All right, let's get into these quick hits. Kicking things off at the QB position, the first guy we're going to be going towards here, not at the super top where it was expensive, but we're going below $7,000. The first guy that pops off the board is going to be Justin Fields, going up against these Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions defense, they looked better earlier in the season when they were healthy. Now they have a lot of question marks, especially in that secondary here. And Justin Fields had a phenomenal game in Week 11, coming back in the first game, having 24 fantasy points, 16 to 23, and a touchdown, had over 100 yards rushing. And that's what he averages going up against the Detroit Lions anyway. He's averaging over 100 yards rushing against this team in his whole entire career. So this is a perfect spot yet again. And this is home. It's a home game here against these Detroit Lions. So this is where the Lions struggle on the road. You got Jared Goff on the road as well. And then you got this defense that tends to struggle against Justin Fields, and especially his legs as well. You got the combination with him and DJ Moore. So love Justin Fields here. And then usually when you have Justin Fields, you really don't have anyone to pair him with. DJ Moore is a #1 wide receiver that you can go with in your stacks for your Week 14 lineup. So love Justin Fields against the Detroit Lions in Week 14. The second quarterback we're going to be going toward, and that's going to have a little bit lower ownership here, and that's going to be Lamar Jackson. A lot of people are shying away from this game because, hey, we've seen what the Rams have done the past 3 weeks. They looked impressed. Their defense is looking a little bit better. But they haven't had strong opponents the past couple weeks. And now you're getting Lamar Jackson here in the Baltimore Ravens coming off a bye. And this team is very hot right now. And look at the weakness here. We're looking at fantasy points allowed to the quarterbacks. Yes, if we're going off the past couple weeks, they have had looked a little bit better than usual, okay? But when you're looking at these Los Angeles Rams here, 18th overall, but the key component here, they're 28th in the red zone. And this is where we want our bread and butter. It's either Lamar Jackson rushing the football or Lamar Jackson throwing that football, getting very comfortable off the bye. I think they're going to open up the playbook with Todd Monken here, and things are going to get a little bit more gelled and well-informed here for Lamar Jackson in this passing offense. Definitely see Isaiah Likely more involved. Definitely see more of Rashad Bateman stepping up, Odell Beckham, and Zay Flowers. So Lamar Jackson's already having a fantastic year passing the ball percentage-wise. All right, we want that big blow-up game, and I see it can happen in this game here. While a lot of people are just cloudy overall on this slate, we got one of the best talented quarterbacks here, former MVP here in Lamar Jackson. Just take that easy square and stack around it, all right? This is a very ugly slate here with a lot of backup quarterbacks. Why not just go with an instilled MVP here in Lamar Jackson, all right? That's going to be our number 2 quarterback. Our number 3 selection will be Jake Browning here. We saw what he was able to do in his previous game. And I believe he's getting comfortable. They need to push forward if they're going to make the playoffs. And he's going to have to be the guy, unfortunately, with Joe Burrow out. And he looked outstanding against the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Indianapolis Colts have been giving up a ton of points. Even that horrible game that they had against the Tennessee Titans, they squeaked through that win. But Jake Browning, the fact that he has T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, and he has pass catching ability in Joe Mixon, that's going to bode well in this scenario here. And that's going to provide problems against these Indianapolis Colts. And you have Cincinnati Bengals at home here. Jake Browning, I can see him with a nice back-to-back performance with 300 yards in this game. They are not shy of throwing the football with him, and he can create outside the pocket as well. Yeah, he's not afraid to run the football as well. He had 40 yards against Baltimore. We saw him run in for a touchdown against Jacksonville as well. This is a very dangerous, sneaky play here. Jake Browning at 5,200. Love this potential stack here in this game. Let's move on to the running backs. For the running back position, we're going to kick things off straight up at the top. This one is a slam dunk, CMC. I don't need to say much about him. Christian McCaffrey is just an elite talent. He's going to be a guy you just want to nail in here as a main play on each and every one of your lineups. Our second quick hit for running back is going to be Chuba Hubbard. You would say, oh, whoa, Chuba Hubbard against the Saints. Yes, against the Saints. This Saints defense has been very poor against the opposing running backs the past 3 weeks. 29th overall, 25th in the red zone. They've been allowing 131 yards rushing, 4.6 yards a carry, and a TD per game. That's going to bode well for Chuba Hubbard, who's looked like the #1 running back here in the Panthers core. He has surpassed Miles Sanders. And look at these games here in week 12. 14 carries, 45 yards and a touchdown, chipped in with 5 receptions for 47 yards as well. 20 fantasy points there, and then 25 fantasy points against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. In another tough matchup, he scored 2 touchdowns in that one as well. So love Chuba Hubbard, who's going to be lower owned in a game where not a lot of people are going to be going towards that environment. They think of it low scoring, but Chuba Hubbard is getting a lot of touches, and he is looking like the #1 running back in that backfield. All right, number 3 option at the running back position will be Jerick McKinnon. Okay, Jerick McKinnon here with the injury to Isaiah Pacheco. Clyde Edwards-Helaire has been moved up as the #1 running back, but Jerick McKinnon is going to get a lot of touches here. Not only will he get rushes, he's going to get receptions, and that's the key component here with Jerick McKinnon. Remember last season where Jerick went off for like 4 to 5 weeks in a row with touchdowns in each and every game. He has blow-up spots already this year, 17 against Chicago, and this is a perfect opportunity for Jerick McKinnon to pop up back again right before the playoffs. Just the same scenario like he did last year, where he showed up on the scene right before the playoffs and they bursted onto the scene. So Jerick McKinnon is going to be our final quick hit at the running back position. Let's move on to the wide receivers. All right, for the wide receivers, you could go and pair the #1 wide receiver with the quarterbacks I already mentioned. The first one we will talk about will be DJ Moore. So you can pair DJ Moore, obviously, with Justin Fields. That is a great stack to have in that game environment between the Detroit Lions and Chicago Bears. All right, coming onto the scene for for the Bears as the #1 wide receiver. This has been a blessing in disguise here. Finally getting an opportunity to shine. DJ Moore, love him in this game environment. Going up against the Detroit Lions yet again. The next wide receiver we're going to be going with will be Courtland Sutton against these Los Angeles Chargers, who struggled all year long. They got lucky because they faced the Patriots. Patriots are a very bad team, and that's why they didn't give up any points against them. But now you're going up against Russell Wilson, and Courtland Sutton looks like the #1 target here for the Denver Broncos. Already has 9 touchdowns, and he's going to provide a big mismatch. He's one of the rare combinations of size and speed here, and it's definitely someone that Russell Wilson connects with in that red zone, all right? He just throws it up to him. Courtland Sutton has great catch and traffic ability, and he's been coming up with a lot of touchdowns this year. The bankable TD for the Broncos, week in and week out, has been Courtland Sutton. And I like the matchup here going up against the Los Angeles Chargers, who pretty much given up this entire season. And last but not least, at that wide receiver position, it has to come through, all right? We get Zach Wilson back. We got Garrett Wilson at $5,500, just really, really cheap here. We're hoping for another double-digit performance here. We've had some upside with Garrett Wilson. We won over 20, but he's been getting there somewhat. 17.4 against Miami, 18 against Las Vegas, 14 against the Chargers, 20 against the Giants, 17 against Philly. So there's been some upside. And now this is the cheapest price we've seen all year long. We're going to hop on this. We're going to make sure he's one of the guys you just throw in there and then build around and find your stack anywhere else. If you just want a one-off, Garrett Wilson is a perfect fill-in spot there. Perfect flex wide receiver at $5,500. I love Garrett Wilson here with Zach Wilson back in the fold. We've seen a lot of games with Houston that are turned into shootouts. That's why we're going that route. Let's go on to the tight ends. Last but not least, we have that tight end position. And the tight end position here for tournaments, a lot of mid-range tight ends have been popping off in these tournaments. A lot of people going double tight end in that $5,000 to $4,000 to $3,000 range, in that mid-range, like McBride when he was cheaper, or Kincaid when he was cheaper. Those guys have been popping up at the #1 spots in the top leaderboards in DraftKings and in FanDuel. So the #1 guy we're going to be looking at will be Gerald Everett here. Gerald Everett in that game between Denver and the Chargers here. Gerald Everett has a prime matchup here. If we're looking at fantasy points allowed to opposing tight ends, you're looking at the Denver Broncos. They are 30th overall, 28th in the red zone, giving up 70 yards to tight ends and 6 receptions. So that bodes well for him. The next tight end we're going to be looking at will be Kylan Granson here for the Indianapolis Colts in that Cincinnati Bengals game. And this is a spot where he's really cheap at $2,600. He finally popped up yet again. 3 receptions for 72 yards, even had a rush as well. Earlier in the season, he had a couple solid weeks there at the beginning of the season. Had a little bit of an injury trouble mid-season, and now he's back in the fold as a consistent route runner on this offense here. And Gardner Minshew is looking for Kylan Granson here, and he does have some upside here. Looking at the Cincinnati Bengals, 28th overall, 12th in the red zone, but giving up 84 yards to opposing tight ends, 7.2 catches a game. So that's going to be bode well for him. Hopefully he can get in the end zone to really sell that salary at $2,600. But the fact that they're giving up almost 100 yards to tight ends, that is enormous right there, that alone. All right. And then last but not least, at that tight end position, we have Brevin Jordan of the Houston Texans. That's going to be the final guy here. Went to the well with him last week. We're going to go back to that well. Was $2,500. They bumped him up to $3,100. This is a perfect matchup against the New York Jets. One of the main focuses here on this Jets is the weak safety play and linebacker play for the New York Jets against opposing tight ends, okay, and pass catching running backs. That's the main weakness there because they have strong corners for the New York Jets. You beat them in the middle, and that's why you see 26th overall, 21st in the red zone. All right, they're giving up 43 yards to tight ends and about 4.8 catches to that tight end position. Brevin Jordan is coming in for Dalton Schultz, who's going to miss another game. All right, so we're going to go back to that. Well, fill in Brevin Jordan. I have no problem going to them at this price. It allows you to pay up at other spots. Love him in this spot yet again. All right, so that's going to be this quick hit video for week 14, just giving you a couple one-off spots at each and every position. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and I'll be back with another video very soon. All right, peace out, guys.